we go. Alright, welcome back to The Beginning After the End. In the review, episode number 6. I am here reviewing the final 2 episodes of season 1. Yep. With this is done. Yes, and this week basically also we're going to have some wrap-ups of the anime. Yes. So, in these 2 episodes, these are quite interesting ones, to say the least. Yes. So, basically, yes. You have it where Arthur is going to become an adventurer. And so he has a duel with the instructor of the Xalis Academy. Xalis Academy. Yeah, the director basically, well, who he met in the last episode, duels her, and, well, she agrees to his terms, basically, while it's lying to his parents, and they're reluctant, but they do accept. So, he also needs to go to the auction house to get himself a sword, because he likes swords. So, after going through some swords, which he's having a long time discussing, at one point dinner is basically ready. So then he comes across a sword that's basically looking like a staff. So this is kind of like almost like one of those mini katana. Like basically this type of sword you see from some like classic Japanese media, where it's like a straight blade and the handle you can easily mistake it for like, I don't know, like a practice sword. But when you pull it out, it becomes a blade, which I found this to be a really cool effect. The fact it's actually blue. It has also writing on it to a particular person. They do explain later on, apparently this thing actually is somebody that, the guy who works with Vincent. So, Arthur thanks Vincent by calling him Uncle Vincent. Which, of course, calls his wife Aunt. Okay. Probably because basically they're friends of their father. And, well, he ends up taking 2 swords. They don't know they owns a sword, but he does. So, then he has his birthday. Apparently, by the time he actually goes on his adventure, he's actually 9 years old. So, during this period of time, at least almost a full year passed by since his return, because when he returned, he was 8 years old. Now he's 9. So, he has birthday, he had these particular rings he's giving him, a particular gauntlet to have all these chanted magic as his awesome mom chanted for him. Which is nice, the fact of Colin Clickenbeard voicing a mom, because she's also a mother too, because she has 1 kid, a son, with her husband. Which I'm sure basically she probably just loved the fact that she gets to play a parent, basically a mother of a son, to also have a cute little girl as well. I'm sure Lucy probably loves watching this anime too, because she probably would enjoy this. In fact, she has 2 kids herself. So, you get a particular gauntlet. They give rings. Well, one for Arthur, the other one to his mother, to keep it on his mana level, just so you know how good he is. Then, he registers to become an adventurer. Yep, and we're introduced to 2 brand new characters here. Well, first, basically, he asks the Twin Horn which one he can take with him, and Jasmine volunteers. Oh yeah, and also turns out her family is very well known. The Flamesworth family. So then, of course, we're introduced to 2 brand new characters. Excuse me, in this scene, where they have the exam. One is a kid who's on Arthur's age, who is known as Elijah Knight, who's in the Dare Kingdom, and the other is a kid named Lucius. Yes. Who is a massive dick. Lucius Walks. Yes, and it's suspected that he is, in fact, the son of a... Apparently he's a half-elf. That's apparently his species. Yep. Apparently his mother was a slave. Yeah, so basically, like, the Elijah Knight doesn't have to take the exam because he has a benefactor. Lucius basically is very arrogant. Despite like he's a half elf, basically he's still a massive dick. And he basically knows he can lose control and needs to be a B rank adventurer. Then of course it's Arthur, which of course when he came in, he registered under the name Note. Because he wanted to be anonymous. So then he looked like he's about to battle the Examiner woman, when it turns out basically it's the Guildmaster wants to fight him, and it's a pretty good fight. They show the flashback, and he's granted the rank of B rank adventurer, which apparently is very high. Yes. So Lucius, of course, is being a massive dick. Everybody's watching, like, oh look, there's kids. 3 9-year-olds basically getting a B rank adventure license, which normally in some series this would not be possible. You know, to allow a minor to be an adventurer. In the case of Arthur, well, he has a guardian. Basically, well, his mentor, Jasmine, because she's 24 years old. With 24, with volume 2 of the series. So it's perfectly fine. He's got adult supervision, so it's perfectly fine. Lucius is basically got a guard, basically like a bodyguard. In the case of Elijah Knight, basically become close to the main character of the series. Well, we'll get a chance to see that. And then they go off separate ways. Then Jasmine takes him to a particular location via a gate. Yes, a doorway gate to a beast field. And then all of a sudden we see this giant boar who has a tongue like a tentacle monster, who proceeds to swallow up a human whole. And then of course Arthur, like, thinks he's in control by Jasmine thinks she can handle it, but nope, she can't handle it all, but Arthur can, and defeats the giant boar with no problem. And of course before this battle, before he's able to take on the boar, there's a weird moment in the anime where Arthur sees his previous self as King Gray. Which, my only guess is the animators did this because it's the last episode of the season. So I guess they figured, though, why not? Why not do this? That's my guess anyways. But then, of course, basically, he beats the thing, and then we have a 2-year time skip. Arthur has aged up a little bit here. So he's probably 11, despite the fact he looks like he's 13. Really weird with the time skips. Because over the course of like this one season, he has pretty much aged like 10 years. Like, it started him as a, well, first we had, so first we had him basically as an adult previously, and then turned into a baby mysteriously. Though people might think, oh, why don't you just read the web novel to figure out what happened? Well, I haven't read that far yet. I've only read for the first 48 chapters out of 225. That's the honest truth of the matter. And then we go from as a baby, now he's 11 years old. Though we do skip some time per se, but yeah. But we do see Tabitha briefly at the end. First time we've seen her at this point since episode 7. And don't worry, she will be back. And finally, basically for later stuff, apparently reminds me a lot of what we see for season 2 for Machuca Tensei. You know, the main character goes to this prestigious school that he was mentioned back in the first season show. And I'm like, yeah, this... Because that's the thing about this show. It reminds me a lot of Machuca Tensei. A lot. Like, it's very similar with the flashbacks. The fact that he's able to, a lot of the time, not be an idiot per se, though he's not getting advice from basically a being from another dimension, like he does in like Rudy says in Shugo Tensei. And here's the thing: we hear a lot of Chris Weatherkamp. We hear his voice a lot of his experience in previous life and helping influence basically throughout the course, influencing Arthur throughout the course of this whole season. Now, I did read the apparently coming for 2 cours, but we have a season 2 coming next year, which I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, I get a chance to do a little bit more of the webcomic. I'm at chapter 49 out of 225 chapters. Now, I don't know if anybody is a fan of the show, but this I really enjoyed. Though, anybody who's watched Shugo Tensei and watched this show, there's a lot of similarities to these 2 shows. Mostly put in similar tones, except the fact the main character is not a pervert, like in the case of Rudius. He was a notorious pervert in that show. And the fact the guy got married to 3 different women in the light novels and had 6 kids. 2 each wife. In the case of this one, he only has 1 woman he likes. Just 1. Though he does one thing, the glamour with Rudius. First girl he kind of falls for, the first girl he gets close with is an elf. Just like... And this is just by sheer coincidence. Where we have Sylvie, who's a dragon in this show, and Shugo Tensei. Sylvie is an elf. A beautiful elf girl who basically gives birth to 2 of Rudius' 6 kids in the series. Yes, you could see similarities, yes. But I do not see this series as a carbon copy of Shugo Tensei. The biggest difference is that Shugo Tensei, where Rudius in his previous life came from modern day Japan and he was in his early 30s, while in the case of King Gray, it's semi-present day-ish, or could be the future. It's not really very clear when it comes to how that world, like you see like a sword, it's just a completely different world. It's not thoroughly explained per se about that world. The one thing I thought was really weird about about that world was the fact they had freaking fighter jets. Yes, that's what I thought was really weird. And the fact that they mentioned about birth control, the fact there was actually a low birth rate in the previous world. Seems like a really terrible place. While in the case of the world that's in this one, seems a lot nicer. Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. I will see you tomorrow for the start of a new anime review series. You're thinking, another one? Yes, another one. And it should be a bit more interesting than this one. Yeah. But see you next video tomorrow. Bye.